So that takes us to today. Over the past week, I've been back and forth, kind of like discussing what I have to do when it comes to the trip and how I'm going to plan things. But I personally didn't do shit. My goal was to set up the routine that has to happen regardless, because the thinking process in my head requires its own space. I am going to try to explain that now. Right now, last when I before I went to Iraq, I had finalized what how I'm going to rebuild my website. So I had decided on the stack that I'm going to use. I had decided on the database. I had decided on the show small, on the oh god. I had decided on the softwares that I'm going to be using, on the language that I wanted to be using. And everything was finalized, and I did my research around them, and I connected the website, and I started the code, the initial code, like, hey, all right, we're online, we found our way, everything is working. All I have to do is use that. So they call it uh, a development environment because you have to connect all the softwares together that basically end up giving you a proper website. So I set that up. All I have to do is write the code, which is amazing. Because now I don't have to worry about that shit. I set it up, I traveled to Iraq, and while I was in Iraq, all I focused on, I did review a lot of the code that I did. I did attempt to write some stuff, but the things that I attempted to write were, because they were not basically filtered through a conversation of some sort, ended up connecting a lot of things that I want to write about. So it became a bit too big for one blog post. So I like wrote, and eventually I was like, you know what, man, this is becoming way too detailed for anyone to want to read. Like it became a 30-minute read. Nobody wants to do that. Nobody. 7 minute, maximum 10 minutes is a good amount of time. But so anyway, so I focused on Iraq, and all I had to do was just basically be there, observe, research, listen, understand, try to get as much information as possible. That was the whole point of me traveling to Iraq. When I came here, I was like, all right, now that I'm here, my mind needs to process Iraq. And normally you don't process things instantly unless everything is set up in your life. Again, I came back to no electricity. I came back to no water in my house. I came back to not a stable environment. The routine that I had before was designed to change by the time I came back. Because now I have to start getting my mindset in a certain mentality where every day I wake up, I do my thing, I walk, and I want to start going to the gym in the morning. I want to try to see if that's possible. But then the first 4 hours of the day need to be fully without me thinking. All I have to do is code. I already have planned everything I need to do, and the pages naturally they change, right? Because as I'm doing something, I can think of better ways to do it, and I can think of different ways to connect things together, call the website from a different side, and every time I'm using something, I could search for different things, and I could actually like find different ways to write, different methods to use, different functions, different libraries, different softwares. That's all fair in game, all fair as long as I know what I have to do and what I need to get out of every day. So I need to get myself in the mentality where these 4 hours are specifically designated for coding my platform, which is perfect. And I came and I started basically trying to build on top of that. Of course, no plan ever works. And you plan for something and you look forward to changing what you planned, but at the very least you have a sense of direction. So I came and the softwares that I researched naturally were not 100%, as I never coded in them properly. I never actually coded in them properly. I coded in them, but like similar small stuff. But when you're thinking about a bigger picture, you always have to kind of think, how does this affect later on? And if I'm doing this like this here, how would it happen over there? I didn't have that train of thought when I was learning them. You can't, because how I started learning code. That complicates things, especially since you're clueless what you're doing. So you have to get some competence in firsthand. But so I spent Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, establishing in a stronger way these different kind of like things that I have to do in my head, which basically increases my level of confidence. And I'm not saying confidence as in like it stops taking that much time for me to understand when I'm not doing something correct. And it stops taking that much time for me to understand something because I already have some point of reference to connect it to. So while doing that, I started basically step and step and step and step and step and step. I started establishing things. I started finding like the methods that I want to use when it comes to writing code and which people kind of like follow my style. And you have to kind of like create a certain setup around you and properly kind of like go through it. Uh, so I've been doing that, and on Sunday I chilled. I did a lot of these videos on Sunday, and on Monday yesterday I managed to like deploy the first page of the website. Now the website's gonna be probably about six, I think, pages. There's the restaurant, there's the actual user profile, and then in the restaurant there are like a couple of others inside. Yeah. So I'm assuming there are like six folder structures. That's the best way we can look at them. And it's a tree-like thing. Like every folder has different files and folders inside of it, and all of them are kind of connected in a weird way. I don't know if you're into programming or something like this, but ultimately that's basically how we design the that's how I look at the design of whatever you see in front of you. I look at them as where is the file of this and where's the file of this and where's the file of this and where's the file of this. So I took some time and I actually wrote down the file structure that I have in mind, which would change. But at least I finished one page of it. And I connected it in a way where I think I would be able to like start using, because if I can replicate this way on the other files, then all I have to do is just like add the different extra features. Once you have the overall kind of like it's like a building, man, right? Like the first thing you need to do is kind of like build the pillars and the floors. Once they're done, every apartment is going to be designed differently, but at the very least all the apartments are in the building, and if you put more energy in one apartment it will look different in this way. You get to decide, you want different doors, you want different color walls, whatever it is, and that's basically a website. So I did that, and today was the first day I actually sat with myself and I was like, okay, so now that that is set and I kind of understand what I need to do, what I will have to replicate. And even though I did not finish it completely today because I added some stuff in the morning and I thought they would work on the old things that I did yesterday, but it's fine. It's always my fault because if I understood better, I would have been able to connect them differently. So that would finalize hopefully over the next couple of days. And even if I take the whole week to actually like perfect that one page, it literally would take me one extra week for the rest of the pages. That's how it works. Like you build the skill and then you use it easily over the next couple of like projects or whatever. So I sat with myself and I started like writing an outline and I was like, okay, so what am I going to be doing? And I started basically asking myself on a Google Doc. I started asking myself, what should I be doing? And basically providing some answers and putting the answers in bullet points and then providing the answers in a question. Because you ask the answer, you ask the actual answer, you have the answer, you don't want to write it down because, okay, here's an example that I used. And it's like, okay, what should I be doing? I should be thinking of the branding. How should I think about the branding? Question mark. Oh, I should think about the branding in this way, in this way, in this way, in this way. Okay. How should I think about the branding in this way? How should I think about the branding when it comes to like the people that were actually like the creatives, the photographers that are going to be working with me? How should I think of the branding when it comes to the designers? How should I think of the branding when it comes to like the social media? Should I actually start considering right now how I'm going to create my ads? Oh, I should think about the ads. How should I? How should I think about the ads? I think I should think about the ads, and each one of them I basically try to organize them in different bullet points. And the goal is to do that until they become repetitive. That is literally what I do. I have no idea. But once you start writing the same thing over and over again, that means you're tapped out. Your brain kind of like, I remember like I was looking at There were like four big bullet points, the one, two, three, four, and then like the dots inside of them. Correct? That's how it goes. That's how Google, when you press tab, it basically one tab inside a tab, one bullet point inside a bullet point comes out in a different shape. So the internal bullet points will eventually start kind of looking the same. Why? Because ultimately all of them serve the same purpose. We need this to work, and if for this to work, the branding has to be on point, and for the branding to has to be on point, the designers need to be on point, and for the designers to be on point, like they're all connected in a weird way, but they're in your head. They're still all over the place. You just have to like let them down. So I wrote, and when I got tapped out, I was like, stop. Okay, I was sent an email yesterday. Let me check it out properly. I looked at the email. It was written in Arabic, even though I told the guys to send it to me in English. I know they're not very good in English, but they know English. They just haven't used English enough. So I told them, write it in Arabic and let ChatGPT fucking translate it. I don't care. I want it in English, and I want it in an English that you could actually understand because I'm going to respond to you in English. I don't want to be writing in Arabic. I could, but that's a skill that I have to learn, and I'm not ready for. No, ready. It's just like that's not time good. That's not a good investment of time at all. I should not be thinking about the Arabic letters and how I'm going to be writing them because knowing my personality, I'll start doing it every day for half an hour until I'm able to type. Now is not the time. Maybe I'll do that in a couple of months. Maybe I'll do that in a year. Maybe I'll never do that. I don't know. But right now, no. It's not that there's a lot on my plate. It's I'd rather spend that energy on something different. French, the guitar, walking, working out, just fucking chilling probably, man. I don't know. I'm doing the stuff that I want to be doing, and this is not something I want to do. You guys have to put in the effort. But anyways, when I read it, I read what they're talking about. Perfect. They actually gave me something. So I basically gave them a phone call or message them, and I was like, let's meet. And we're meeting on Thursday. So from now till tomorrow, my mind would have processed what I've written. I'm going to read them before I sleep today. And by tomorrow morning, I'm going to look at it. And when I look at it tomorrow morning, I'll be able to kind of see it from a clearer eye, a different perspective. And I'll be able to add different stuff to it, hopefully, or at the very least, like actually separate the stuff and write different details on what we might actually want to be doing with it. And I think that's a beautiful first start because ultimately now, if I do this every single day and every single time I add a bit to this like outline that I created, I'll be able to dive into the details of the planning that is required. Then all I have to do is just kind of like organize the information. I don't know if this is how consultants do stuff, but I know what needs to be done. I've just never actually kind of like done this process with others. I used to do it all myself. I used to literally be the guy that goes online, does the marketing, and goes basically and signs the contract with the contractors and buys the stuff they need and like make the deal in order for their stuff to come and get the logistics done. I used to do all that stuff. I never had people under me that I had to kind of like not translate, communicate with. And so I'm enjoying this as an experience and as an experiment. If anyone has any idea, please, any advice or anything, just like kind of let me know. But there's a strong sense in me that is pointing at the fact that like everyone kind of has to figure it out from where they stand, or they'll just be copy pasting others. And that is it. That's it for today. Thank you.